So I checked out Killer Klowns from Outer Space just to see what that game is currently like in 2026. Let's check it out. Playing Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Now, I haven't played this game in such a long time. Maybe 3 months after launch, I kind of ditched it. Purely because on launch, it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun, the variety and the differences between Dead by Daylight and this game was very astounding. And even the differences between this game and Texas Chainsaw Massacre was significant. This game was colorful, fun, janky, the gameplay more similar to Friday the 13th than any other asymmetrical game out there. However, the game developers didn't seem to support the game at all. They went quiet, and the balance changes didn't seem to happen for a long time. No map balances, no map changes, and it was very frustrating. Now, the point of the game is to connect these cocoons that you find laying around, the cotton candy cocoons, and hook them up to a machine. This machine will then, I believe it calls for other clowns, or it's like a bomb. Either way, it destroys the world, or you take over, which I'm going off my memory here, and that's how you win the game. Or you can just simply kill the humans. Now, getting into a game wasn't a massive issue during my session. The hard part was getting into a game that hadn't already begun. I think I did about 4 games, and 3 of them, I was halfway through the game. So this is really the only game that I got into that I was at the beginning of the game, which is really unfortunate because it is a really fun game. Now, as you can see here, you can turn humans into cotton candy to hook up to that machine I was talking about. Now, the gameplay here I find is fun. I find it a really fun game to actually play. The issue is getting to play that game. Getting to play the game seems to be an issue. Getting into it for a full game from beginning to end seems to be a problem. Now, as a human side of things, there's a variety of different ways to escape. You can go through the boat, the tunnel, bridge, portal even, and you can even resurrect your fellow humans. And it's such a good comparison to Friday the 13th because that variety is just outstanding. I love variety in video games. I think there should be multiple different ways to escape things like this. However, ultimately, due to the lack of communication and the lack of support, it didn't end up very well. Now I'm chasing this human down, and I thought I was doing a poor job. Eventually, I catch up to her because she decides that she wants to fight. Now, it is very doable to win a 1v1 on this game. It just is. Humans they're not overpowered, but they are strong in this game, depending on who you play. Now, you can gang up on the clowns very easily as well and easily dispatch them. Whenever you do kill a clown, you stun them for I think it's like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and they're out of the game for that time period. So as a human, then you can carry on with your objectives and trying to escape. Now, both sides of the clown and the human side are extremely fun to play as. I don't have much of a preference when I do play this game. However, I don't play this game often enough because getting into a game from beginning to end is a big problem. It really is. It's a shame because this game I felt had a lot of potential on launch. The community was great. I mean, I believe even some people were playing and role-playing as characters on here. You can be a cop, a jock, and people were role-playing as them. It was great fun. But the devs seemed to go quiet, and I don't know why. I don't know why they went quiet. Maybe they didn't like the game themselves. I don't know. But they didn't support the game enough, and it was a shame. It was a massive shame that the game ended up how it has. It's just essentially dead. And it's very similar to the Evil Dead, in which great game, great fun, delisted. Now, this game hasn't been delisted just yet, I believe, but it would not surprise me if that's the next step. Now, this person that I encountered could not get her. She really, really fucked me up. I couldn't get her at all, couldn't chase her down. Other clowns, whoever played that character did a great job. So back to my point. With Killer Klowns Out of Space, it had the IP is a special one, I think. It's not outstandingly massive, it's not super well known. However, it is a cult classic. There is a niche for Killer Klowns. I love the movie a lot. I love the game a lot. Unfortunately, the devs didn't support it as they should have, or at least how I believe they should have, and that ultimately ended up killing their game. Now, the hard part is, will this game suffer the same fate as Halloween? It's still IllFonic. I hope not. I hope that when Halloween does come out in September, it's going to be a colossal game. I hope it's going to have a huge impact. I hope it's going to be very similar to Friday the 13th. I know you only play as Michael Myers, but I hope there's different types of Michael Myers similar to Friday the 13th, in which that you do get to have different stats, different abilities, and different weapons. As long as the game gets supported, the community is going to be there. The community for asymmetrical horror games have been burned in the past. Now, Dead by Daylight do a great job with their updates, with their communication, mostly, on supporting their game. They clearly love their game, and they clearly are doing a great job in supporting and acquiring IPs and licenses to continue for that game to be this big, massive, colossal giant in the asymmetrical horror games. But that is really the only game I could think of that kind of exists to a significant standard in the asymmetrical genre right now. We've had previous games, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Killer Klowns, Evil Dead. We've had Evolve. Left 4 Dead isn't even a thing anymore, which is a shame because that game was amazing. But my point is, Halloween needs the support, and it's not just from the community, it's from the devs. The devs first, their support on balance changes, maps, that needs to be priority, not cosmetic DLC. We'll see how it turns out.